Hello guys, Mr. G here. We're going to be making another video related organic chemistry. In this case, we're going to practice how to name haloalkane. So before we begin, let's record what are haloalkane. Those are organic compounds in which they are not everything hydrogen and carbon. There's some halogens. So the functional group will be carbon, which is bonded to at least one halogen. Here, X represents the halogens. So X could be any halogen. And remember, halogens are the elements in group 17 from periodic table. Okay? Group 17 from the periodic table. If you want to record, there is fluorine, there is chlorine, there is bromine, and there is iodine. Those are the main ones we are going to be using. So X will be substituted by any of those halogens. And the other important thing to record here is the haloalkanes, the name will finish in ane. Okay? That is important. Now, let's go to the steps when naming organic compounds. It is the same steps. There is very little variation from the previous video, which is hydrocarbon, to this one, which is haloalkane. Okay? So, the first step is to identify the homology series. If you look at the compound carefully, you will see here you have a halogen, and therefore it is going to be a haloalkane, or alkyl halide, how it's also going to be called. So this is a haloalkane, and therefore the name will finish in ane. We already have this information. It is very important. Step 2, you are going to find out which one is the longest continuous carbon chain that contains the functional group. The functional group is here. Let's probably do this one. So you recognize the functional group is there. So when you select the longest continuous carbon chain, you have to make sure that one is part of the chain. So here we have two options. We have one option, straight, and that one will have a 5 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbon. And then we have another option here in which there is a turn down, and we have there and going down there, and that one also has 5 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbon. So either of them will have 5 carbon. Okay, so we are going to take the first one. It is easier, but it's straightforward. And remember, 5 is pent. This one is given in the previous video. You can always go back there and record. So up until now, what do we know? We know that the name will finish in ane, and we know that is going to be a 5 carbon, which is pent. Okay, so that is step 2. All right, I hope it's quite clear. We're going to use the first option. Okay, so let's go to step 3. Now step 3 is a little bit tricky. This step change from hydrocarbons to haloalkanes a little bit. Now this step is the one in which you have to number the carbon starting at the end nearest to the functional group. However, for haloalkane, that one won't be exactly like that. For haloalkane, halogens do not get preference over the alkyl groups. So numbering should start from the end, nearest to the first substituent, either halogen or alkyl group. So when you're going to write numbers, you start from the side that is nearest to either alkyl group or halogen. So halogen doesn't take preference when writing the number of the carbons. Okay, so here is what we have. We selected that one as 5 carbon. Now we have to start counting the carbons. This is carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5. That is option 1. Option 2 is starting from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you start from top, the halogen is in carbon 3. If you start from the bottom, the alkyl group is in carbon 2. We said we're starting from the side in which either alkyl or halogen is nearest. So in this case, the one at the bottom is closest. The alkyl group, is closer than the halogen in the top. So the numbering we're going to use is the numbering at the bottom. That is the other important step. Step 3. You start counting, you give numbers to the carbon starting from the end nearest to the functional group. For haloalkane, only for haloalkanes, okay, you start from the end nearest to either a halogen or a alkyl group. In this case, the alkyl group is closer than the halogen, all right? So I hope that was clear. Let's go to step 4. Now, the substituents. Remember, the term substituent in this case is going to mean either halogen or alkyl group. That's why we are going to use this term substituent, right? Halogen or alkyl group, either of them. So we are going to identify what do we have here. Now, important, the name of the halogens will change. If you have fluorine, it will end in fluoro, no fluorine. If you have chlorine, the name will become chloro. And if you have bromine, the name will become bromo. All right, so the end of each of the halogen changes. So what do we have here in this compound? We have two substituents, one here, which is the branch, and one here. All right, so what do we have here? We have a methyl. What do we have here? We have a chlorine, and we are going to write chloro. Chloro. Okay? Those are the two substituents we are going to have. Now, remember, when you have the substituents, you have to write down the number of the carbon in which the substituent is allocated. So this one will be 2 methyl. This one will be 3 chloro. Okay? So what is everything we have? Let's write here, and before we write in the name, we're going to the name, let's write all the information we have up until now. So we have that the compound is going to end in ane. We know that it's going to be pent because it has 5 carbons. We know we have a methyl in the second carbon is going to be 2 methyl. 2 methyl, and we know that we have a chloro in carbon number 3, so it's going to be 3 chloro. All right, so this is everything we know. Now step 5 will be writing the name of the compound. The order is going to be the following order. First, you're going to write the substituent. Remember, the substituent is going to be in alphabetical order. All right, and the tri does not count, only the letter of the specific substituents. So then you're going to have the base is the number of carbon, and finally the family to which that compound belongs. So saying that and coming from here, the first we're going to write is the chloro because C is before M. So we have 3 chloro. 3 chloro. Then it's coming the other substituent, which is methyl. So 3 chloro, 2 methyl, and then it's coming the base, which is the number of carbon, and the suffix, which is the last part of the name. Methyl pent ane. Everything together. So the name is 3 chloro, 2 methyl pentane. That is the final answer. I hope it went, you understand what happened. It's not that difficult, and the steps are practically the same as when we name hydrocarbon. In the next video, we're going to practice how to name alcohols and perhaps aldehydes. Okay? Thank you very much, and good luck.